Hello, greetings everybody, and welcome to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show, a show dedicated to progressive rock and other forms of rock music. So we're doing the show that I do every month at the end of the month, which is called, I'm not even actually sure what it's called. It's the one new albums that I've purchased. I call it album hauls. So my album hauls for the month of September this month. A little bit more than I've had in recent months. Since I've moved, I've had to curve my appetite for spending until I can get kind of a flow going. So I did go last Saturday to my favorite spot in Kitchener called Encore Encore Records, and I got my stuff there. I buy quite a bit from them. They usually have a lot of good used stuff, but they also have a lot of good new stuff as well. So and they have a huge vinyl collection as well there. So I go there quite a bit. They're very organized. That's the thing I like the most. So I don't have to spend half my time rooting through every album that I've looked at the last few months because some guy can't be bothered to put them in some kind of order. So they don't do that. They have everything easily accessible. You just go through the list and you find what's new and what isn't, So anyways, here to talk about what's new today, what I have, what I bought, sometimes what's given to me, sometimes, occasionally I get gifts or people just give me their CDs because they don't want them. Yeah, CDs aren't really that overly popular. I love them myself because vinyl takes up way too much space. I don't really like the byproduct of it, warping and you have overly protected. I'm not really that good at that kind of thing. There are lots of people out here who are doing vinyl anyways, so I didn't really want to get into it. Since I had a CD collection when I started this, I figured I would continue with it, and I enjoy my CDs. I can play them in my car. They're easy to store. They're easy to stack when you're doing this. There's just lots of things about them that I like. They don't scratch, all kinds of stuff. Well, they do scratch if you're not careful with them, but I'm usually pretty careful. So anyways, let's get under. Before I start, just to let everybody know who hasn't done this before, who hasn't seen this before, I'm just going to be going through each of these albums that I purchased, just talk a little bit about them. Some of them I may have listened to. In this case, I haven't listened to any of them this month yet. I got them only last week, most of them. So I'm just going to talk about the albums, and then if you have any comments about them, you can put them in the comment section below, or if you have any questions, you can put those down there as well. Okay, so the first album, it comes from the soundtrack, and I did get my glasses this time. I almost forgot them, but when you're old and blind, you need them. So this comes from the music from the film More, played and composed entirely by Pink Floyd. Many put this in the Pink Floyd discography. They consider it a Pink Floyd album, and why wouldn't they? Because everything on here is Pink Floyd and it's all new. So this is from the soundtrack More. I don't know anything about this album. I've never heard anything off of this that I can think of. I do have the other Pink Floyd soundtrack, which is Obscured by Clouds. I do like that quite a bit, so I'm hoping that this will be more of the same. Sorry, bad joke. Okay, so next up is from a band that many people for some reason think I don't like. It's not the question. It's not the case. I've never said I don't like them. I just have never been into them. So there's a difference when you're not into something for whatever reason and not liking them. Some bands I don't like. I don't want to hear about them. I don't want to see them. I don't care about their music. This is not the case with this band. I've long wanted to get into their stuff. They have a lot of really well talked about, really good stuff from people's stuff, and I chose to get this one today, Emerson, Lake and Palmer's Tarkus. I do like the opening track. I have listened to bits and pieces of it over time. There's other stuff on here I think I will like too, but I'm trying to get a window into Emerson, Lake and Palmer, and so far I've got a couple of their other albums, but I've never really gotten into them. But You know, for $10, it's worth the effort. And I generally have this idea in my head, and maybe this philosophy in my head, that sooner or later those bands will come around if they're supposed to. This band falls well within my wheelhouse, so it should be a natural fit for me. And I keep giving it a chance somewhere, and it happened with the Doors recently. I kept giving them a chance and giving them a chance. 40 years of giving, well, actually, only the last couple I've been giving them a chance. Before that, I shut them out. But that's what happens when you shut people out and you don't give them a chance, right? So this album I will be giving some listen to. Next up, an album I thought I owned. I looked for it, couldn't figure out what I did with it. I'm sure I owned it at some point. I do have a lending philosophy, and some people have taken liberty with that and don't always return them, but that's slowed down over the last few months because I need my albums. So, but I did go out and get it again. Open Your Eyes by Yes. So now I have it. It's in my hands, so I know I have it. I always wondered why, with all those great Roger Dean covers, they would choose to put this out, this cover. Open Your Eyes. Yeah, they need to open their eyes. This is not really that attractive. I mean, I guess it's not bad, but why would you do that? So this album was released in '97, so that puts it within the John Anderson era. And when he's on the album, Steve Howe, Billy Sherwood, Chris Squire, and Alan White are also on this album. So I'm assuming that Billy Sherwood is playing the keyboards here. That would make sense, right? But anyways, I don't know much about this album. I haven't listened to. I'm looking at the tracks now. I don't recognize anything. But I definitely will give this a listen to. I don't know much about it. I haven't seen much about it either. So I may have listened to this actually once. Yeah, because I remember doing something and I listened. Yeah, I did listen to this. And there's a couple tracks on here now that make sense to me. I may have listened to its entirety once. But I did own it, so I'm not sure why. Or maybe I didn't own it and thought I owned it. I'm not sure. Anyways, on to the next album. This is one that I've wanted for some time. Been looking for it. I have about half a dozen of their albums. Every one of their albums has been absolutely great. I got 2 on my playlist right now. One of my favorites came off the playlist not too long ago. And this one I've been looking for because people have told me it's their best. It's Gentle Giant's Octopus, and I got the American version, which is kind of surprising that they wouldn't just adopt the British version, which is, I believe it's a Roger Dean cover. Correct me if I'm wrong. But this is supposed to be their best album, so I will be giving this a listen to. You can guarantee that. Then I have, that's it for the 4 Prog albums. I have 2 that I consider to be a little bit on the proggy side. One of them is the soundtrack. Just looking at this. Yep. This is definitely the entire soundtrack. This is by Peter Gabriel for The Passion of Christ. The problem is that when I bought it, the disc was all broken up, so I asked the guy if he had another one, so he gave me this one, and I of course organized it. But now having organized it, I realized that the back is upside down or the front is upside down, one or the other, so I'm gonna have to straighten that out. This is on Geffen Records as well. So I am a huge fan of Peter Gabriel. Most of you know that. I like everything that he does, and so I had to have this. Hey, yeah, the guy was selling it for $2. How could I pass? And then the same with this one. I had to have this. And the reason I had to have this was because, like Open Your Eyes, I already thought I had it. But I don't have it. I can't find it anyways if I do have it. And so I said, well, there it is again, so get it. And I got it. I love this album. This album is one of the ones that I've probably listened to 500 times over the time I have it. I love every track on it because you get used to certain tracks and they grow on you, right? Some of my favorite, I love the version of San Jacinto on here, really fantastic. And of course, this is the only album that features "I Go Swimming," and that's one of my favorite Gabriel songs, so it's got to be on here. So I was happy to get that, so now I can listen to that again. The version of DIY is not bad, and I Have the Touch are both okay. But those two versions, the San Jacinto one and Salisbury Hill, are both, I think, superior to the original versions. Just so good. Excellent album. Peter Gabriel plays live. I may do a live experience show if I haven't done one on that album. I can't imagine that I haven't. So the next one up is the debut album from this band, Iron Maiden. I've been looking for this album for a while. I got it for a good price, so I'm happy. The Prowler's on here, Phantom of the Opera's on here. So this is the debut album of them. So there's no, I think Paul. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it doesn't say, but I guess I could look through it and tell you. Paul D'Angelo? Is that who it is? It's got a huge, thick book on it. Oh my God, this book is massive. How did they squeeze it in there? And how am I going to squeeze it back in? That's more important. So yeah, some really, really good shots here. Dennis Stratton is still on this. There's a nice shot of the band. And some of the other stuff. Different shots of them doing different things. Yeah, more shots of them here. Yeah, so I think Dennis Stratton is one of the two guitar players. Steve Harris, of course. Dave Murray, the other one. And Paul Diano, sorry. Paul Diano. I don't know why I'm having such a hard time with that today. Lead vocals. So he is the predecessor to Bruce Dickinson. Then you got Cliff Burr's also on here. So you really only have Dennis Stratton. There he is. I think I showed you that already. Yeah. So you really only have the two guys that are considered the classic band. But still, this is a landmark album, launching the career of one of the best heavy metal bands of all time. Debut album for Iron Maiden. I got this album also, No Prayer for the Dying. I've seen this album talked about many times, and I'm just looking quickly, I may have actually heard some of the songs on here prior to this. I'm not sure. I have to listen to it, but my experience with the album is somewhat limited. When was this released? 1990. Yeah, so it would have been after my heavy metal days were over, and I had moved away from that for a bit. And I think the last Iron Maiden album I owned was the album prior to this, 1988's Seven Sons of the Seventh Son, which I really like. So I'm hoping this has got a lot of good stuff on it too. So now we're going to move down from the metal into the pop era. Steely Dan, Everything Must Go. This is the band I discovered as a result of watching Sea of Tranquility. I listened to him talk about this group, and so I was somewhere and they had Pretzel Logic album, and I thought, well, that's a good price, so I'll take it and give it a try. And I love that album right away, so it has motivated me. And now I think this is my 6th Steely Dan album. I don't do anything easily. I gotta have everything, right? That's the way it is. And then, of course, this one I saw at the same place as The Passion for Christ. I got it for $2. It's in great shape. Yeah, like almost perfect shape. And I've wanted this album for some time. Neil Young's Harvest Moon. Yeah, fantastic album, and for a fantastic artist. And Neil Young's one of those artists too that a lot of people love him, but there's some people that really don't like him. I was watching a video during the week on George Harrison, another artist I like, and he doesn't like his guitar thing, what he does with the string. He doesn't like that, and doesn't really like his voice. And didn't say he didn't like him, but he just didn't like those things. And I can understand why he might not like those things. I personally like both of those things. So, anyways, that's it. That's my haul for the month of September. 10 albums, up from 6 last month, and hopefully being up a little bit more once this gets going along here. So what else can I tell you? I am looking at buying a couple of box sets. So I own no box sets, and I'm not really sure why that's happened. It's not. There's 2 that I really wanted, and when I get them, I'm going to attempt to do a box, like what they call a unboxing. I've seen people do this on different channels. I think and I enjoy it. I really like to see what they're getting. So I'm going to at least try to do some unboxings. Dan Snyder, I think. Is it Dan Snyder? No, Dan Snyder is somebody I know. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. Anyways, he's probably the best at doing the unboxing, and the stupid glasses are crooked. These are the ones that are crooked. So anyways, I will watch a few of his videos to get a real kind of understanding on what's the best way to go about that, and then we'll do a couple of unboxings when I get them. So anyways, I hope that you have a good day. Please make any comments about the albums that you've seen today, or anything that you want to comment about in the comment section below. Hit the like button, it's much appreciated, and hit the subscription, and we will be back next month at the end of October with another album haul. So have yourself a good day. Take care. Bye.